We be live. Hi everyone. Let me check my audio. While I check my audio, make sure you like the stream so that we get more viewers. Your likes and your any engagement basically will make more people watch the show. So please go ahead and do that. Let me actually make sure. We should be live right now. Yes. Fantastic. All right, the audio is working, everything is working. Hi guys. Today we are going to be reviewing some videos from Muslims in the UK or UK Muslims in somewhere else talking about Sharia law and defending Sharia law and making excuses for Sharia law and sometimes maybe even lying about Sharia law or misinforming people about Sharia law, but basically trying to increase the influence of Sharia in the UK, advertising, promoting it, and we will respond to all of that together here. And Alfred is here. Thank you so much, Alfred. Alfred is here highlighting your comments, and also a special thanks to Dolly for preparing all of these videos and doing all the research. I have the response to it, and today, guys, together, this is a practice. Okay, we're basically training. We are having Enlightenment values versus Islamic values, and it's not enough for us to just highlight, to just point and say like, oh, we don't like Sharia. We need to understand how to respond to these claims. Let me actually bring up this first video here on the screen. And this is practice. This is basically Atheist Republic is the training ground for us to be better soldiers in defending liberal Western societies. Okay, so here we see the guy from Smile to Jannah. I forgot his name. Zizesh, some name like that, right? He's in London in Speaker's Corner talking about Sharia law. Let me actually read the context for this clip before I start playing it. So basically, it's trying to say that Sharia law is perfect for non-Muslims. So he's talking to British people. Let me actually make sure you guys are, guys, thank you so much. People are saying that they have liked the stream. Alfred, please keep highlighting people who say that they have liked the stream so that more people get encouraged to like. Guys, this is a very easy way to support this channel. Just keep liking. Anyways, let's watch this video through and through, all the way from beginning to end without pausing, just to for us to have a better understanding of what's happening, and then we will respond to it. Okay?
You know, you as a non-Muslim, if you're living under the Muslims, you're under the protection of the Muslims and
Sharia law. No.
Sharia law. Now let's just pretend you're under Sharia law now, yeah? Rob, yeah? Rob's in Sharia law. Oh my God, what's going on? Sharia law. Yeah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that if somebody harms a disbeliever that's living under the protection of the Muslims, they have harmed me. If they have harmed me, they have harmed God. What if I told you that the ruling is Imam Malik said this and Layth said this? These are two scholars who we follow. If you unjustly kill a non-Muslim that's living under your lands, the punishment for that Muslim, guess what it is?
It's not good.
It's death. Okay. There's no ifs, there's no buts. You kill a non-Muslim under your protection, it's game over for you. On top of that, the Prophet said that if you oppress a disbeliever that's living under Sharia law, on the day of judgment, the Prophet will be advocating on the side of the disbeliever.
All right. So he's trying to defend Sharia law because he knows a lot of non-Muslims are afraid of Sharia law. And he's saying, like, look how fair Sharia law is to non-Muslims. If somebody comes, like, if like UK, for example, if the world goes under Sharia law, non-Muslims are protected. Muhammad himself specifically said that if you come and kill a non-Muslim under Sharia law, the Muslim community, Muslim society, Muslim law, Sharia law will come and kill that person. First of all, that's not even good. We don't believe in capital punishment, at least here on this channel. But let's say we do. Okay, let's say that's a good response. But so, do you guys know how to respond to this? Because technically, what he's saying is true, but he's omitting a lot of important parts. Do you know which parts he's omitting? These are called lies by omission, because he's not wrong. He's not wrong, but there's a lot more context that he's not adding to it. Do you guys know what it is? So let's go through this line by line and then respond to it. But by the way, this is what he's referring to is exactly, correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is exactly how the mafia works as well, right? So, and he's talking about, when he's talking about non-Muslims, he's talking about Jews and Christians. He's not talking about other non-Muslims. So non-Muslims such as atheists, Buddhists, Hindus, mushrikeen, like idol worshippers, they're not protected at all. We're talking about Christians and Jews who will pay protection money, which is the jizya, and they will be put in their place. They will be humiliated. They will be humbled. They will be made quite aware to them that they are lower in society compared to Muslims, and they will pay the jizya. And yes, for that, Muslims will protect them from harm, even though you have a two-tier citizenship, two-tier membership in society. Muslims are higher, and they're the below it, right? So this is a betrayal of liberal values. We believe in equality under law and one-tier citizenship, one-tier membership of society. But yes, they are protected from harm. It is true, they are protected from harm. Exactly how the mafia works. Like let me know if that's how the mafia. You guys agree with me? That's how the mafia works. They collect protection money. They're evil. They will also protect you as long as you are giving them the protection money. And that protection is not Jews and is only for Jews and Christian, not for like for me, especially not for murtads like me, for ex-Muslims, for people who have left Islam. That protection does not extend to people like me. So let's listen to this one more time, and then I will show you the proper hadith to respond to this, and then we will go to the next video. So let me know if you guys agree with how I'm framing this. So let's continue.
You know, you as a non-Muslim, if you're living under the Muslims, you're under the protection of the Muslims. And
Sharia law, no.
Sharia.
So under the protection of Muslims is just highlighting a small section of a great evil to basically demonstrate to is basically looking at a small part of this and ignoring what's happening here, right? So non-Muslim are under the protection of Muslims. If you're Christian and Jew, that is correct. That is correct. But you have been invaded. You have been, they rule over you. They can do whatever they want to you. If you basically violate any of their Sharia law, which does not, for example, as a Christian, you can't promote Christianity. If you build a church, no, you can't actually build a church. You cannot even extend the church. All churches have to be lower in height than any mosque or all the buildings surrounding them. You cannot create new churches. Nothing promotional should not be seen even outside of the church. There's definitely no crosses should be seen anywhere. And there's a whole bunch also. You are not going to be forced to become a Muslim, but you have to still follow Islamic law. So you have been taken over. You have been invaded by an Islamic force, and you are being forced to. You're being oppressed. You have been a standard of living and certain laws that you do not agree with will be forced on you, and there's no democratic process for you to challenge that. And you should just be grateful that they will not kill you and that you get to live, even though you're living under oppression. You're living under a totalitarian regime that is controlling your way of life. You should be grateful that you're not going to die. Apparently, that's a very low standard, in my opinion. And you could be grateful for not dying as a Christian and a Jew, but I cannot be grateful because as an atheist, as a murtad, I don't get to even enjoy that. I mean, if you're a Christian and you're a Jew, are you going to be grateful for that? And even if you are grateful for that you're not going to die under an Islamic Sharia law, are you going to, as a Christian, if you're a Christian and a Jew, let me know in the live chat. Would you appreciate the fact that I would not enjoy the same protection that I would, like as an ex-Muslim atheist? I'm going to die. What about the Hindus? What about the Buddhists? Are you going to be okay with the fact that they're going to die?
Sharia law. Now let's just pretend you're under Sharia law now, yeah? Rob, yeah? Rob's in Sharia law. Oh my God, what's going on? Sharia law. Yeah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that if somebody harms a disbeliever that's living under the protection of the Muslims, they have harm.
Yeah, so disbeliever, not all, when he says a disbeliever that lives under the protection of Muslims, that's specifically for Christians and Jews. that not all disbelievers enjoy
harmed
that.
me. If they have harmed me, they have harmed God. What if I told you that the ruling is
That is very blasphemous, by the way, Muhammad. They have harmed God. Muhammad, you are harming God is not possible. So, in your own ideology, maybe Muhammad, maybe I should introduce you to Islam.
Imam Malik said this and Layth said this. These are two scholars who we follow. If you unjustly kill a non-Muslim that's living under your lands, the punishment for that Muslim, guess what it is?
It's not good.
It's death. There's no ifs, there's no buts. You kill a non-Muslim under your protection, it's game over for you. On top of that, the Prophet said that if you oppress a disbeliever that's living under Sharia law, on the day of judgment, the Prophet will be advocating on the side of the disbeliever.
All right, so I have a couple of hadiths to show you that even if you're a Jew or a Christian, you should not really enjoy the fact that this is happening. So let's say, for example, you're a Jew or a Christian, and you don't care that me as an atheist does not enjoy protection. Okay, let's maybe just you care about just Christians and Jews. You're like, okay, fine, I don't care. The Muslims are gonna, if there's Sharia law, they're gonna go kill, and the atheists and the Buddhists and the Hindus. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. The Muslims are going to not kill me, and if anybody wants to kill me, they're going to come and protect me. So I'm good. So you guys, you atheists, just go have to worry about yourselves. So yeah, let me actually show you that you guys, what your position in society is going to be like, even if you are not going to be killed, right? So a couple of hadiths to see how your standing in society under Sharia law. Okay, and this is Sahih hadith. So you can see it's been graded as Sahih. That means that in Sunni Islamic school of thought, this is considered a fundamental part of Islam that is inseparable from Islam. This is part of what Muhammad said. The messenger of Allah means Muhammad. And you see these squiggly lines here. This one says Sallallahu Alaihi, which means peace be upon him and stuff like that. So this hadith by Muhammad says, if I live, I shall certainly expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula until I leave only Muslims there. So, by the way, this hadith is the reason why they don't allow Muslims in Mecca. And some Muslims are not satisfied with that, because this hadith specifically said Muhammad wanted the Jews and Christians out of all Arabian Peninsula, not just Mecca. So basically, this shows how Muhammad thought about Christians and Jews. And then there's this hadith. This is kind of like, how Jews were treated under Nazi Germany with the stars, and how they would just be, while they were walking in the streets, before that time that they were putting them on trains and sending them to concentration camps. This is exactly how Islam is promoting treating Christians and Jews in the street. So look at this hadith. This is by Allah's messenger, meaning Muhammad as well. It says, do not greet the Jews and the Christians before they greet you. And when you meet any of them on the roads, force him to go to the narrowest part of it, right? So yeah, then if you're a Christian and a Jew, under Sharia law, they're not going to kill you, but they're going to make sure that you understand that your position in society is below Muslim, that when they see you in the street, they're going to push you to the side of the road, the narrowest part of the road. This is exactly like we have some footage seeing like when Jews were walking in the streets under Nazi Germany with the star, other people will come harass them and abuse them. This was before. By the way, just like in Nazi Germany, when you had Jews at the beginning just being humiliated and humbled in the streets, but then eventually they put them on trains and sent them to gas chambers, you could see that process in Islam as well. Like at first it's humiliation and insult, and putting them in their place, showing them that they're below Muslims in society, and not killing them. But you could see that I will show you hadith today on later videos that when you get too close to the end of times, then yes, you're supposed to actually, Muslims are supposed to go and KILL all the Jews. Again, YouTube, I'm not saying this is hadith that I'm going to show. I disagree with this. I'm against violence, so please do not strike down this video. But So that we have hadith that says eventually they're supposed to do that. And the problem with that is that, like, when we get close to the end of times, but who's to say that we're not in the end of times right now? Because many Muslims sometimes get convinced that now is the end of times. So they might just bring up that hadith and start actually taking out Jews, unfortunately. And then also we have Quranic verses. You know, when I say that they're supposed to humble and humiliate Jews and Christians while they collect the money from them, like they collect the jizya, the protection money, like the mafia from them, they have to also be humbled. They have to be made, yes, so they are going to protect them against harm, but they also have to make sure that they know that they're humbled, that they're humiliated, that they're second class members of society. So we have this Quranic verse, chapter 9, verse 29, says, fight against those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day, and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and his messengers have made unlawful. And so basically, the people who do not believe in Islam or Sharia law, that's what it means. Lawful, when this part where it says, so when it says do not believe in Allah or in the last day, that means the articles of faith in Islam. And when it says when they do not believe, who do not consider unlawful what Allah and his messengers have made unlawful, that is Sharia, that is Islamic law. So if you don't believe in Sharia law, you have to fight them. And who do not adopt the religion of truth, meaning Islam. From those who were given the scripture, fight until they give. So here's the part, here's the key part, right? Fight until they give the jizya, right? That's the money that the non-Muslims are supposed to give, specifically Jews and Christians, willingly while they are humble. So see, while they're humble. So you saw when this video was saying that Jews and Christians are under the protection of Muslims. Yes, they're under the protection, but also humiliated, humbled according to the Quran. This is like not even hadith. We're talking Quran here, okay? So they're humbled, they're humiliated, and they're treated as second-class citizens. Let me see what you guys are saying. We have Ramo using his or her 6-month membership, saying, don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. Yes, please do that. We're going to go to the second video soon, but Alfred has started some of your comments for me to read. Let me actually read these. Amit Chai is saying, in the BBC, they are saying calling the Islamist protesters now anti-fascist protest. Okay. So guys, Alfred, start the comments that are relevant to the topic that we are reviewing here. Heavy is saying, why does this guy admitting, oh no, why does this guy omitting the part about the jizya tax have 3 microphones clipped on to him, like on top of speaking into a regular mic? I think one mic is for him, the other mic is for the person that is he's speaking to, and I don't think the other one is a mic. I think one of them is like a battery or something. I'm not sure. But they spend a lot on production quality, because I know Speaker's Corner is like a very loud, noisy area, and they want to make sure that they have like different, I don't know, but I know it's very hard to get good audio in Speaker's Corner. I've been there. I recorded some conversations on Speaker's Corner in London, and I know how difficult it is. But again, this guy is from the channel Smile to Jannah, which represents one of the biggest Islamic channels on YouTube. The top 3 English Islamic YouTube channels come from the UK, which shows where we are at with the UK right now, right? So it's Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawah, and this guy, and they have a lot of. They're making a lot of money, so they could afford a lot of high quality. They can afford to make a lot of high quality content. Vegan Cat is saying, this is so depressing. Just the thought that some Muslims would like to live under archaic, oppressive religious laws, completely different world compared to the one I live in. Yeah. Yep, true. I don't have anything to add to that. Levantix is saying, Armin, do you have any thoughts about the Alawites? They live mostly in Syria and are officially Muslim, but when I read about their faith, it's almost sounded like a cover for atheism. I just know that they're a sect of Shia Islam, and that's enough excuse for the Islamic Republic to be heavily investing in Syria. I don't know that much detail about the details of their religion. I just know that mostly about their politics, the political influence that the Islamic Republic uses, the fact that they're an offshoot of Shia Islam. That's the extent I know. Vegan Cat is saying, serious question: how can I get educated about Islam without starting to feel resentment towards proper religious Muslims? Oh, proper, you mean like the people who are taking it seriously? Any advice? It's very difficult, actually. I know it's difficult. I have a method that, if I say it, a lot of people think that I am insulting people. I don't even know I should say it, because I don't mean to insult people. Okay, I won't say it because YouTube is going to think I'm saying something that I'm not trying to say. Let me actually bring up this next video. This is the second video that we're going to review. But I will say it. I will say something else, because the what I want to say, YouTube is going to think I'm saying. People are going to clip it and think I'm saying something that I'm not. But I kind of look at humans and see that I read human history. I look at the development of ideas throughout history, and I accept it as part of human nature. And I also understand that we are the exception, and what we're seeing from religious people is to be expected. Like, we are the odd ones, and given how being a follower and accepting the rules and traditions and the belief of your society is a biological mechanism for tribes to be able to survive, because if everybody was going to be a rebel, tribes will go and it would annihilate tribes, and a tribe would not be able to survive. I accept that as part of human nature, and I also understand that us rebel are also part of this nature, because for a society to progress, there needs to be a small percentage of society who's rebelling against the norms and traditions so that they could bring new methods. So rebels kind of represent the mutations, but everyone else represents the correct copying of like genes, like just like memes copying each other. Almost people being followers is basically a copying of memes from one generation to another, in the same way that genes are supposed to be a good copy of the genes before them. If it's not a good copy all the time, then life will not survive. But there needs to be some variations, like mutations, for their progress to be available. So us rebels are a natural part of this progress, but most of society is supposed to be just follower, or else society would fall apart. So I see this as a natural mechanism that is part of the evolution that we inherited from our biology, and it's now part of a new cultural evolution, or a meme evolution, or a cultural evolution, or a meme evolution. And it makes me less angry, because I just understand that this is how things are. Like, this is just nature. What am I supposed to get angry about how things are? Right. So this is how I cope with it. So let's go to the next video. This is pretty epic, actually. This one is also in Speaker's Corner in London. I will play it without pausing. Let me actually give the context for it before I read it. This one is a Jew asks a Muslim about Jews' fate under Sharia law. So this is a Jew. This man is a Jew. He's talking to a Muslim, and I could recognize that this is Speaker Corner as well. So let's listen to this.
Do you want the Jews to fully submit to the Muslim and pay them a tax until they're humiliated?
In a Muslim land, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want.
And
that's what I don't want. That's why I need Israel.
This is the most beautiful, epic, short video on the internet I've seen. I love it. This is just 12 seconds, and it's beautiful. First of all, the guy that is talking understands Islam. He's actually referring to this verse that we just highlighted, right? Which he understands that Jews and Christians, once they live under Sharia law, they have to pay the jizya. And they're supposed to be humbled and humiliated. So he understands that. So this is both Islamic, and it's also political, because he's like, this is why I need Israel. So this demonstrates the evil of Islam, but also demonstrates the need for Zionism. This is Zionism confirmation in 12 seconds. This is so masterfully done. Like, who is this guy? I love you, sir. Who are you? In 12 seconds, you destroyed Islam and confirmed Zionism. I have never seen anybody produce better content, a 12-second content that should be shared everywhere in the world, like destroying Islam and confirming Zionism at the same time. Let's listen to this one more time. This is so perfect. It's so perfect.
Do you want the Jews to fully submit to the Muslim and pay them a tax until they're humiliated?
In a Muslim land, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah,
And that's what I don't want. That's why I need Israel.
That's what you want. Yes. Well, that's what I don't want, and that's why I need Israel. Oh my God. Mwah. Perfect. That's very efficient. Yeah, Kenya's saying that's efficient. That's so perfect. Again, because this part is going to be cut for people to see what he's referring to. This is the Quranic verse that he's referring to, chapter 9, verse 29, which basically, let me just read it one more time very fast. Fight against those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day, and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and his messengers have made unlawful, and who do not adopt the religion of truth. So basically saying God is telling Muhammad in this verse to fight the people who do not believe in the articles of faith in Islam, and also do not believe in Sharia law. So the second part is talking about Sharia law or Islamic laws. And then also from those who were given the scripture. Yes, so you should have been exposed to the scripture, and Muslims argue that now with the internet, that means basically almost everybody. And then it says fight until they give the jizya. That's the protection money that they're supposed to give, and willingly while they are humbled, right? So humbled and humiliated. You have so many different verses that specifies how they should be humbled and humiliated while you collect the money, right? And also an important thing about this video that we just watched is for you to see Muslims who are preaching Islam, who are advocating for Islam, they understand what these verses are saying. Like, they agree with it, because when we say it, people say like, no, Armin, you're misrepresenting these verses. You are an Islamophobe. These verses do not actually mean what you say they mean. They're not supposed to like humble and humiliate like the Christians and Jews when they dominating over Christians and Jews and collecting money from them. They're not supposed to, like, that's not true. You're just misunderstanding what the Quran is. But again, videos like this shows that no, the people who have studied this, and there are Dawah boys basically going out there defending Islam, they actually believe this. Like, look, this guy is confirming that this is the Islamic
Do
view.
you want the Jews to fully submit to the Muslim and pay them a tax until they're humiliated?
In a Muslim land, yeah.
Yeah.
In a Muslim land, yes. So yeah, they're confirmed. Like, this is not our interpretation of the Quran. This is the Islamic interpretation. And again, when I say Islamic interpretation, just this guy is not my evidence. Okay, we have the Quran, we have the Hadith, that a lot of Hadith comments on Quranic verses, and we also have the tafsir by Islamic ulama, Islamic scholars throughout Islamic history, many of them Arabic being their native tongue, and they have gotten the same interpretation that we're telling you here. And if all of these people are getting it wrong, then the Quran is useless, because people who have dedicated their lives understanding the Quran and writing about it and their native language being the Quran. Not only that, they have studied the Arabic language. If they're getting it wrong, then the Quran is a useless book that nobody can understand anyways. So, right? Also, beyond just that, let me make sure that I show you this hadith for people, because I was referring to, you're supposed to protect the Christians and Jews while you have dominated over them, and you make them fully submit to Islamic Sharia law. They don't have to convert to Islam. Christians and Jews don't have to convert to Islam. People like me, atheists, people, infidels, Hindus, Buddhists, they are supposed to either convert to Islam or die. But Jews and Christians can keep their religion as long as they pay the jizya and they're humiliated and humbled and submit to Islamic law, right? However, that's a temporary phase, because at the end of the day, the Muslims are supposed to come for the Jews. yeah, so let me actually show you this. So especially Jews have to be careful, right? So that's a temporary phase where Jews pay the protection money and the Muslims will protect them, kind of like the mafia. But eventually, Muhammad himself, he says, again, guys, this is Sahih Muslim, okay? There's no denying that this is part of Islam. Like, this is a fundamental part of Islamic teaching, inseparable. This is, when I say Sahih Muslim, just understand that means that it's an inseparable part of all four Islamic Sunni school of thought, right? So Muhammad here, Allah's Messenger, sallallahu alayhi, he says here, the last hour would not come. The last hour means the last days, basically the end of times, right? The last hour means the end of times, right? So he's saying the last hour would not come unless the Muslims will fight against the Jews and the Muslims will kill them. YouTube, again, this is Muhammad is saying this. I'm not saying it. Please do not strike down this video. Until the Jews would hide themselves behind a stone and a tree, and a stone or a tree would say. So, guys, basically the end of times, Muslims will be killing Jews. They will find chasing them, killing them, and then the Jews apparently would be hiding behind stones and trees. But then an Islamic miracle will happen because the stones and trees will speak out. They will speak out. The trees will speak. And what would they say? They say, Muslim or the servant of Allah. So they will say, hey, Muslim, hey, servant of Allah. There's a Jew behind me. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Guys, if this is not anti-Semitic, I don't know what this. And again, this is what Muhammad said. Every single Sunni Islamic school of thought believes that Muhammad said this. The trees and rocks will speak out and they will say, there's a Jew hiding behind me. And they say, come kill him. Ah, there's a Jew here. Come kill him. Again, YouTube, not my words. Please, I'm just exposing this hateful, disgusting ideology. These are not my views. However, guys, there's a Jew tree. Did you know Islam believes that there's a Jew tree? Yes, there's a Jew tree. So all the trees and all the rocks will speak out, but the Qarqad tree, the tree of Qarqad, would not say. So this one will stay silent, for it is the tree of the Jews. Okay, so this tree will not speak out because it's a Jewish tree. Weird. Islam is a weird ideology. So guys, remember, the protection for Jews at least is temporary. So hold on, let me actually, that's the next video. The protection for Jews is temporary, and the problem also with that hadith is that many Muslims are constantly looking for the signs of the end of times, and sometimes they're convinced that now is the end of times, and so that makes it very dangerous for Jews, right? Okay, so somebody's saying, Armin, will you cover the protests which happened in London near Downing Street? It happened a few days ago. Guys, can you tell me if it has any relevance with Islam? Like, I'm not saying, like, what, like, how is that relevant to our channel? Let me know if I should cover it. I will listen to your opinions. And I don't see the connection. I'm not following it in detail. Maybe there's a connection. I don't know exactly which, because I know there's a lot of protests happening in London. I don't think it has connection to Islam or anything like that. Like, let me know. Because I'm also following a lot regarding Israel right now, and the Islamic Republic, because everybody is just like following the news, because at any moment the Islamic Republic might retaliate and hit Israel. So I'm like very laser focused and seeing what the hell is going to happen there, because I want to go live as soon as if that happens. So if you are if you think there's a connection to Islam over there, let me know, because I haven't seen that much of a connection. But again, I haven't been following it that closely. All right, so somebody's saying, Armin, so what of Western nations push for policies to tax Muslims more to push them out? Would that be a good tactic? No, that's an insane tactic. If you are a citizen, you should have equality under the law. People should, like, it's a very foundational, it's a very liberal value, equality under the law. You can't have different taxes for different people if they're citizens. Yeah, I know, Dolly, but that I know that happened, but they were not, the people who did it had nothing to do with Islam. So I don't know how is that relevant, though. All right, so this is why I wait, guys. So some of you guys are like just come up with conclusions as soon as there's a news, and I'm like, okay, let's just wait around. Like, well, let's see what the hell happened, right? All right, so this next video, yeah. By the way, no. By the way, Dolly is great. Dolly gives me all this information to know what's happening. Like that's because I'm so busy with other things. Dolly has her eye everywhere, and she's my like eyes and ears, and she will give me the information, and then I'll wait to see what the updates are, and then I'll decide whether or not if I want to make a show about it or not. Okay, so somebody's saying, yeah, I will look into. So Alfred, don't highlight this anymore because I will look into it. Okay, I'm not sure because I want to focus on the topic on this stream right now. So Alfred, if you can start the topics that are relevant to what we are highlighting. So this one is okay. So this one is a woman. This is an old video, but she's from UK. I just want to make sure that so Dolly collected UK Muslims who are talking about Sharia law, and this is one of the famous ones. And I just want to make sure that you guys know how to respond to this. So this is a woman who's saying Sharia law just means like praying 5 times a day. So why you guys are being like pickets and stuff? This is just praying. So let's listen to it, and then we could learn together how to respond to it. Okay.
Anybody that supports Sharia law in this country should be deported.
So do you know what Sharia law is?
Yes, but it doesn't have
Do you know what it
rights.
is?
Are you praying for Sharia law?
Of course, me
Do you?
praying 5 times a day is Sharia.
Okay.
Right? Like basic.
What about equal rights for women? What about
That is completely separate from
Oh, so
Islam.
now you can be a Sharia law supporter and be half pregnant at the same time.
What
Come
are you talking
on.
about? You are talking about stuff you don't know anything about. Like, okay, I'm not going to attack you personally.
What law?
My frustration is that people talk about Islam without knowing anything about it, and they're willing to completely negate any of my rights as a human being, as a woman, as a person with agency, simply because they have an idea about what my faith is about. Excuse me, Islam to me is the most feminist religion, right? We got equal rights well before the Europeans. We don't take our husbands' last names because we ain't their property. Right? We were given the right to own land. We the fact is, what is culture is separate from what is faith. And the fact that people go around dissing my faith without knowing anything about it and want to chuck me out of a country I have done, and Muslims. The fact is, Jackie, I agree.
The fact is,
wait.
one law in this country, and it is the Australian law.
In
It is
Islam,
not Sharia law.
in Islam,
Not in this country.
Okay, so actually, I want to make sure I include another hadith because she said something so outrageous that it requires another hadith for me to highlight. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. So let's look. So this is a common tactic when you are afraid of Sharia law. A lot of people say you don't understand what Sharia law is, and then they will tell you some things that Sharia law covers that is not very dangerous, right? So, and I don't know why that trick works, because if I say, okay, here's a book, and this is a dangerous book because it tells you to kill people, it tells you to RIPE, like, these people, it tells you that genocide is okay, and it also tells you to make sure you feed your dog, the food that you give your dogs is not too salty, and that onions, make sure that there's no onions in the food that you give your dogs because onions are not good for your dogs, right? But it was also promoting genocide. It was also promoting RAPE. And there was a whole bunch of other stuff in there. And like, okay, this seems like a dangerous, disgusting, backward book that we should raise awareness about. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then somebody who wants to defend this book will say, like, what are you talking about? You don't understand this book. Look, this book also includes this advice that not to give your dogs onions. That is true. What do you have a problem with that? Like, okay, I don't have a problem with that part. But why are you just highlighting that? Like, there's a whole bunch of other parts that is included in this book that I have a problem with. Like, yeah, you don't understand this book. This book is not violent. It's just giving you good tips about how to be a good pet owner. Like, dude, like the other parts. So that's her defense for Sharia, is that Sharia includes, so guys, Sharia is Islamic laws, but also not just laws, Islamic, like all rules, both personally in your private life and publicly, and governance. So it's not Islamic law, it's not just Islamic law, it's like Islamic law, guidance, it's all encompassing. Everything you're supposed to do, including how to wipe your ass. Like, no, I'm not kidding, including that. Okay? Including what to do if you want to wipe your ass and you don't have water. It has that in there. So Sharia means that Sharia includes the Hadith, the Sunnah of Muhammad, that he picked up stones. I'm not kidding. This is actually so true. He picks up like rocks in the desert to wipe his ass because there's no water. That's also Sharia. And it's also part of Sharia not to use bones to wipe your ass, because Muhammad is so kind that he cares about demons and jinns, basically. And if you pick bones to wipe your ass, that's demon food. Demons eat that. So you shouldn't wipe your ass with bones in the desert, because that's their food. Okay, so that this is also Sharia. So yes, Sharia includes a whole bunch of nonsense. Not all of them absolutely directly dangerous, right? But why are you highlighting that part and not the rest? Okay, so let's listen to this line by line and respond to this. Like, oh, you don't know what Sharia is? Sharia means like me praying 5 times a day. Yeah, okay, that's not the part that we are highlighting here. We're highlighting the other parts. Do you deny that Sharia includes a whole bunch of other things that I'm going to show you? I'm going to show you what the other things Sharia includes. Okay. By the way, I want to just make sure that I include this other hadith. Messenger of no prostrating themselves before you. So tell me, if you were to pass my grave, would you? Nope, that's not the one. Oh yeah, I found it. Okay, yes, I found it. Okay, so because the feminism part. So let's respond to this line by line. I have really good responses to this.
Anybody that supports Sharia law in this country should be deported.
So do you know what Sharia law is?
Yes, but it doesn't.
By the way, by the way, this lady, I know she's like mixing, knows a lot about Sharia law. This other lady, and she knows the problems with it. But everybody who supports Sharia law should be deported. How, lady? Can you explain to me? I know a lot of people say this. Can you explain to me how are you going to deport UK citizens if they support Sharia law? Like, I know that sounds amazing to say, and people are like, yeah, deport people who support Sharia law. But you live in La La Land. That, like, you live in a dream world. That's not going to happen to UK citizens. Like, why are people giving us solutions that we know it will be impossible? That will never happen. Like, what is this? Why are people constantly celebrating solution that will never work? Can we come into the real world and talk about how we could actually fix things? How are you going to deport all these Muslims who support Sharia law and who are UK citizens? That will never happen. Stop living in a fantasy world that and giving us solutions that is not going to happen. Anyway, so let's listen.
Support Sharia law in this country should be deported.
So do you know what Sharia law is?
Yes, but it doesn't.
What do you know what it is?
Me praying 5 Sharia law.
Of course, me praying 5 times a day is Sharia.
Okay, me praying 5 times is Sharia. Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I agree with her. You praying 5 times a day, that's Sharia. That's part of Sharia. But it's also this. I specifically will choose this one to show you first because it's talking about me. It's talking about me. Okay? It says, this is Muhammad. Okay? It's specifically mentioned. It should have put my picture here. Why is this not? Why when I zoom in? Okay, here. It says, the messenger of Allah said, whoever changes his religion, kill him. So I was a Muslim. He's talking about me. I was a Muslim. Now I'm not. And this is, I picked one because this is very short and to the point. And again, it's Sahih. It's a Sahih hadith. So you cannot deny that this is part of Islam. Okay. Muhammad said, whoever changes his religion, kill him. This is Sharia. This is Sharia. This is also Sharia. What that lady said is Sharia, true, But this is also Sharia. Is that lady going to come tell me that this is not Sharia? Is she going to deny that Sahih Hadith? Is she going to stand against Sahih Hadith? No, I think not. I think not. So, do you want to see more Sharia, guys? Oh, this one is also about me. Because they're talking, this is about atheists. Yeah, I want to make sure that... So, yeah, the protection money, like, oh, Sharia law protects non-Muslims. If anybody harms them, you know, the Muslim community will execute them if somebody kills a non-Muslim. Well, that's, you know, maybe you Jews and Christians will get that protection. But let's look at the hadith about me, which is an atheist. So, hold on, look at this. Some atheists were brought to Ali. This is Imam Ali, the fourth Khalifa of Sunnis, or the first Imam of Shias, right? And he burns them. Okay, just like, okay. He burned them alive. The news of this event reached Ibn Abbas, who said, if I had been in his place, I would have not burned them. As Allah's messenger, oh, guys, look, Islam is actually showing some mercy. It's like, oh, I would like, Allah's messenger would not burn atheists. Why did Ali burn atheists? Okay, so guys, there's a silver lining here. It seems like there's some... Look at this. This is good. This is hadith that should, like, we shouldn't have burned them. So let's see what Allah's messengers has said. Allah's messengers forbade it, saying, do not punish anybody with Allah's punishment fire. I would have killed them according to the statement of Allah's messenger. Whoever changed his Islamic religion, then killed them. Okay, so sorry. I spoke too soon. The problem was not that he killed them. The problem was that he killed them with fire. And the killing with fire should be reserved, like punishing with fire should have only be reserved for Allah. Given that we are punished in hellfire by Allah, Muslims should not use Allah's punishment. They should have like Ali should have beheaded them. So the disagreement was not with the fact that they killed atheists. The disagreement is over the methodology. So the fire should be left for Allah alone. So apparently. So this is also Sharia. Lady, when she's shouting like Sharia is just praying 5 times a day. True. This is also Sharia. And this is also Sharia. Again, this is the guys. This is Sahih Bukhari. Oh, what was that other one that we showed? That was also Sahih Bukhari. So this is part of Islam, right? And also this is also referring to whoever changes. So guys, this hadith that I showed you is referring to me twice because it's referring to atheists at the top. And it's referring to people who change their religion should kill them. So this is referring to murtad or apostates. So I'm both an atheist and an apostate. So this is double me. So now let's look at this one. Saying Allah's messenger, meaning Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi, said, the blood of a Muslim who confesses that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that I am his apostle, cannot be shed except in these 3 cases. So basically, all of this means that whoever is or has ever been a Muslim, you cannot shed their blood unless there are only 3 cases where you could actually kill a Muslims, right? Qisas for murder. So if that Muslim kills another Muslim, you could basically take their life in response, you know, just blood money, right? Like blood payment, you know. A married person who commits illegal sexual intercourse. So guys, again, this is also Sharia law. All of you people who have been having sex out of marriage, Islam teaches you that you're supposed to die. Okay? You're supposed to be killed for having sex outside of marriage. Illegal sexual intercourse. So this is also Sharia. And then it says, and again, oh, here's another reference again to me. And the one who reverts from Islam, meaning apostate, and leaves the Muslims. Right? So yeah, this is also Sharia, lady. This is also Sharia. Also Sharia. So let's bring her back. Look at this. Like, oh, you people who criticize Sharia, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I showed you what Muhammad said. This is what your prophet has said. That's Sharia. Sharia comes from the Sunnah of your prophet, from the Hadith. That is Sharia. So who doesn't understand? Do we not understand Islam? Do we not understand Sharia? I brought you directly to the source. But yeah, these people do not understand Sharia.
Me praying 5 times a today is Sharia.
Okay.
Right? Like basic.
What about the
do you
equal
even-
rights
do you
for
know what-
women? What about
That is completely separate from
Oh, so
Islam.
now you can be a Sharia law supporter and be half pregnant at the same time.
What
Come
are you talking
on.
about? You are talking about stuff you don't know anything about. Like, okay, I'm not
Lady, you do know what you're talking about. Okay, I understand. Come, I'll teach you about Islam. I'll show you this hadith. I don't know. Have you seen this hadith? Are you lying? Are you not aware of these things that I'm showing you
going to
here?
attack you personally.
What
but
law?
my frustration is that people talk about Islam without knowing anything about it, and they're willing to
How do you know? Like, I just showed you that I do know about
completely negate any of my rights as a human being, as a woman, as a person with agency, simply because they have an idea about what my faith is about.
Okay, no, we don't want to take your rights or agency away from you. In fact, we want to give you rights and agency. That's why we're anti-Islam. Islam is the one that takes the agency away from women. Islam teaches you that a woman has to submit completely to her husband with no agency. With no agency. Okay, like this is freaking bullshit, okay? I mean, come on. Let me actually bring the Quranic verse because this is so nonsense. Like, yes, actually, as liberals, we will give you agency as a woman, okay? Because that's what liberalism is. That's not what Islam is. People who want to take away my agency away from me. No. In fact, we want to free you from Islam so that you could have more agency.
Person with agency.
I'm more freedom.
Simply because they have an idea about what my faith is about. Excuse me, Islam to me is the most feminist religion, right?
Okay, Islam is the most feminist religion. Let's see. Bull crap. Nonsense. Yes, okay, let me show you Quran. You know which one I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to give you a Quranic verse and a hadith. This Quranic verse, I think most of you have seen it, is Quran chapter 4, verse 34. It says, men are caretakers of women. Actually, this is Sahih International. Most of the time it says that, hold on, let me actually show you Sahih International. Let me bring translation that is mostly the accurate. The translations I like is Pictal International, sometimes whitewashes it. This Halim guy is also very good, right? Yeah, this is the actual translation. Okay, so Sahih International is the main one people go to, even though it whitewashes it. This is the actual proper translation. So men are in charge of women by the rights of what Allah has given over the other, right? And what they spend for maintenance from their wealth. So righteous women are devoutly obedient. Oh, look at this. She's talking about agency. Guys, is this a feminist ideology? Tell me, is this feminist ideology? So first of all, it says men are in charge of women. And if you actually read the Arabic, this is the actual translation, the correct translation. Men are in charge of women. So this does not sound like feminist to me. And also says righteous women are devoutly obedient to their husbands, guarding in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. Okay, so again, this is funny because she's talking about agency and saying that wives should be devoutly obedient to their husband. This is actually taking agency away from women, in my opinion. And then it says, but those wives from whom you fear arrogance. Okay, again, arrogance here is, I think, if you actually look at the Arabic, it's like the actual translation is disobedience. So those wives of you who, not the ones who are disobeying you, but the ones that you fear arrogance or disobedience. Like, even if they're not being arrogant or disobedient, but you're just fearing it, like even before they actually become disobedient. So for those wives that you fear disobedience, you have to take a 3-step solution to that. Step 1 is advise them, basically talk to them. Step 2, if they persist, forsake them in dead. Basically, kick them out of your bed. Like, they will have to go, I don't know, sleep on the couch or like on the floor or somewhere else, right? And then finally, if that still doesn't work, strike them. Hit them. Oh, by the way, you see here it says hit them lightly. This is bullshit because the lightly is not in the Arabic text. If you see the brackets means it wasn't in the actual Arabic text. So if you look at the Arabic text, it's very important for you to notice the lightly is not. I mean, even if the lightly was there, still you're hitting your wife. So that's insane. So if you see, this is the verb azrabahunna, va'azrabahunna. So you can see this one. It says fil bed, kick them out of your bed, and then va mean and azrabahunna, strike them, and then this then if. You see, there's no lightly in the Arabic text. This bracket is something that the translator decided to add to make this verse sound more, more acceptable. And then it says, but if they obey you once more, so if they become obedient, seek no means against them. Indeed, Allah is ever exalted and grand. Okay, so that doesn't sound feminist to me at all. It's telling you that men are in charge of women, and women should obey their husbands. And if they don't obey, you should take measures, and if they still don't obey, you should beat them. You should beat your wives. So yeah, wow, the most feminist ideology in the world. So most of you, I think a lot of you who follow this channel have seen that verse again, talking about, like, think about it, talking about agency. No religion takes away woman agency away as much as Islam. But here's another hadith that a lot of you haven't seen. This last part of this hadith says, I don't want to read the whole hadith. You could like pause and read the whole thing if you want. Okay, but this is also a hadith that a lot of people talk about. Look at this. You can see the source of this hadith. But Muhammad in this hadith says, if I were to command anybody to make a prostration before another, so in Islam, you're not supposed to prostrate in front of anything except Allah. Allah is the only, you need to bow down to sajda to Allah and nothing else, nobody else, no human, no idol, no king, no emperor, only Allah. But Muhammad said, if I was going to make anybody, if I were to command anybody to make prostration before another, I would command women to prostrate themselves before their husbands because of the special right over them given to husbands by Allah. So it's like, if there was supposed to be any form of prostration of human to human, it should have been wives towards their husband. So that's Islamic hadith. And again, this coming from the most feminist ideology in the world. Okay, so you're like, yeah, you don't understand Sharia. Well, lady, you don't understand Sharia.
Excuse me, Islam to me is the most feminist religion, right? We got equal rights well before the Europeans. We don't take our husband's last name.
Equal rights. The Quranic verse that I showed you, did that sound like equal rights to you? My lady, you're a Muslim. Have you read the Quran?
Because we ain't their property, right? We were given the right to own land.
I mean, technically, you're right. They're not there. So here's the thing. In wives in Islam, let's be fair here. Wives in Islam are not considered property to their husbands. Okay? A lot of the treatment that they get are similar to how you would treat slaves, but technically they are not property. And that's one of the purpose of hijab is to separate your wives from your slaves. Your slaves are supposed to be your property, and the slaves are not supposed to wear the hijab. Your sex slaves, the female slaves, right? Your wives will wear the hijab so that they're considered your wives, not your slaves, not your property, right? Even though there are many similarities, unfortunately, in Islam about how you treat your wife to your slaves, but technically they're not your property. But actually, people are like, okay, so she's right about that. But the problem with this is that actually saying this exposes how disgusting Islam is, not just in the sense that, well, some of the treatment of your wife is like the treatment that you have that is usually associated with treatment of slaves. But the fact that Islam has that this like separates your wives from your property, from your sex slaves, actually it's a reminder that there are sex slaves in Islam. Okay, no, your wives are not your property. They're treated differently than your property, than your sex slave. Like, oh, okay, so thank you for confirming that you have humans as property in Islam. Okay,
We can like the fact.
Because like when you say property, like they're not a property in the sense that you cannot sell them, you cannot buy them, you cannot trade them in the market, in the bazaar, but you could do that with your slaves, right? Like you could treat them like a commodity. But again, in Islam, they have that.
Is what is culture is separate from what is faith. And the fact that people go around
Yeah, the Quran is faith. I will show you. I'm not criticizing. In fact, let me tell you something. Okay, Arab culture is superior to Islam. You say like, oh, you guys are. We should separate faith from culture. Okay, you guys, the things that you have a problem with, the way people treat a woman, that's culture. No, lady, Arab culture is actually part of the culture that is a problem is Islam. If you remove everything that is Islamic, what is remained of Arab culture is actually beautiful. In fact, Arab culture was very beautiful before Islam came to Arabia and ruined everything. Like, go look at everything with Arab culture. Well, most things with Arab culture that has nothing to do with Islam, their music, their traditions, their art, and everything. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so we do know how to separate culture from religion, and the problem is actually the religion. I showed you this is in the Quran. I didn't show Arabs behaving badly. I showed you your faith, not Arab culture, not any culture of, like, I don't know, other Muslim communities.
Go around dissing my face with.
Yes, exactly. See the saying, make the Quraysh great again. Perfect. Yes.
Without knowing anything about it, and want to chuck me out of a country I have done, and Muslims. The fact is, Jackie, I agree.
Fact is, we have one law in this country, and it is the Australian law. It's not Sharia law.
In Islam.
Not in this country.
Right. So let's go to the next video. I mean, how did these people come and tell us that you don't know anything about Islam? And then when we just review what they're saying, it seems like they don't know anything about Islam. So by the way, guys, I have 8 videos for today, but I'm only going to be able to do 4 of them. So let me know if you want me to do another stream, continuing with the other 4 about like UK Muslims talking about Sharia and not knowing anything about it. Wait, I know this guy. Yeah, I know this guy. This is like, I think this one is, I don't know where he's from. Okay, but let's listen to him. I reviewed some of this guy's videos. But yeah, I have 4 more. Oh my God, I have one that is so insane about this. I'm gonna do this on the next show. But this lady, so the next stream we're gonna do this woman. This woman is a Muslim, a UK Muslim, okay? And Dolly has found her for me. And I could not believe the things that she's saying, and the fact that she's a Muslim. And look at the things that she has in the back, right? She's Muslim, right? I know she doesn't look like a Muslim, but she be Muslim. And Dolly just gave me one of her videos, and I was so shocked about what the hell is happening here that I went and found a couple of other of her videos. So I have 3 of her videos. She has converted to Islam in the UK, right? And I will cover her on the next stream, not this one, because today we're not going to be able to get to that one. Today we're just going to do this video, and then on the next, maybe the next stream or the one after that, we will get back to her and her videos and some other couple of Sharia related videos. So let's look at this one. What's the context for this one? This one. Okay, so this is, he's asking him if he's going to follow Sharia law or London law. So let's listen to his response. Because, guys, this is a very clever response by Muslims, and you need to be equipped with a response. By the way, guys, if you're appreciating the things that I'm teaching you here and how to respond to these things, please make sure that you like the stream, because your likes support this channel. It makes this channel grow. It makes more people come and watch these videos. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps the channel. And also, once the stream is over, please make sure that you leave a comment under the video. That also really helps. And make sure that you come and subscribe and hit the bell notification on Atheist Republic's YouTube channel. Okay, so let's listen to this all the way through, and then we will respond to it, because this is a key tactic that people use, and I need you guys to know how to respond to it. Okay, so let's watch.
Do you follow the Sharia law in London, or do you follow the London law?
I follow the Sharia law wherever I go, because a lot of people don't understand what the Sharia means. Sharia just means following the practice of Islam, the teachings of Islam. So praying 5 times a day is Sharia. Being good to my neighbor is Sharia. Taking care of my children is Sharia. So I practice Sharia wherever I am, because Sharia just means pathway to God. So whatever leads me to God, I do it, wherever I am. Even if I'm in prison, I still can practice Sharia in prison, right? Doesn't matter where you are, right?
And do you follow the law of London as well, the land there?
Of course, I'm here. Of course, I'm here. The Quran says, fulfill your contracts. And I've made a contract with this country that I will abide by the laws when I enter with the passport. So I have to fulfill the contract.
So, guys, did he say anything that was wrong? So, see, we have clever Muslims who understand Islam, and some Muslims who are saying things that actually is not, that we expose here, that what they're saying is not Islam, like it basically contradicts Islamic teaching, right? So the video that we showed you before this was the woman who actually doesn't seem to be a good representative of Islamic teaching. She doesn't understand Islam, and it's easy for us to respond to that because she says something and then we show a Quranic verse or a Hadith, and we show that she's wrong. Those are easy, Muslims who do not understand Islam. But then we have this other type. These are people who know Islam inside and out, and they're not doing taqiyya, they're not lying, and everything he says is correct, but it's not the full picture. This guy, like that lady that I showed you before this, that lady says so many things about Islam. She's not as educated as this guy, for example, about Islam. Like we reviewed this guy's video. He's so good. Like I forgot his name. What is his channel? Can somebody remind me? But he's so he's better. His channel should grow more than Ali Dabo and Muhammad Hijab. Like his channel should be bigger because he is so knowledgeable about Islam, and nothing he says contradicts Islamic teaching. He's a perfect representation of Islamic thought, right? But he's also a really good content creator, and he knows what to say to who and what to omit. Nothing he said here is incorrect. Yeah, Levantix, thank you so much. That's the channel's name. No, is that it? No, yeah. No, that's Lantern. They both starts with L. So I thought that's our guy here. No, that's Levantix is our follower of the. No, that's similar to Muslim Lantern, not Muslim Levantix. Levantix is this guy. Muslim Lantern. Yes. Okay. So that's the channel. Muslim Lantern. Thank you, CW, please. I'm getting confused. No, he doesn't lie, guys. He omitted. What did he omit here? This is very important for you guys to understand. So should Muslims follow Islamic law, or should Muslims follow the laws of the land that they live in? There is one question that he didn't ask that would have made this video complete. So let's go through it and try to respond to it very carefully. Okay, so
follow the Sharia law in London, or do you follow the London law?
I follow the Sharia law wherever I go.
So as a Muslim, you should say that you always follow Sharia law. Sharia law is basically public law, personal law, privately, everything that Islam tells you to do, that's Sharia. Not just like the law of the land, but also your personal do's and don'ts in your own house and in your private life. And as a Muslim, yes, you have to. Denying Sharia will take you out of the fold of Islam if you say that I'm not supposed to follow this. So that's the correct answer. You have to always Sharia law. Okay, but then let's continue.
Because a lot of people don't understand what the Sharia means. Sharia just means following the practice of Islam, the teachings of Islam.
Yeah, the teaching of Islam, whether it's private or public, whether it's law of the the Islamic law of the land, or even like how to wipe my ass, right?
So praying 5 times a day is Sharia.
So praying. So here's the clever thing he does here that many Muslims do. When you're talking about Sharia, now you will mention the things that you're supposed to do that are not the parts that a lot of people highlight. So the examples he will give of Sharia, which they are Sharia.
Being good to my neighbor is Sharia.
So praying 5 times a day is Sharia. Being good to your neighbor is Sharia. However, that's only if your neighbor is a Muslim, right? Or a Jew or a Christian that is paying the jizya and living and following Islamic law. But that does not include your neighbor if your neighbor is gay, if your neighbor is an apostate, if your neighbor is a witch, they believe in witches, then you should expose them and get the state to kill them, right? So if your neighbor is an apostate, it doesn't include though. Okay, it mostly includes your neighbor being a Muslim, right?
Taking care of my children is Sharia.
Yeah, taking care of your children is Sharia, but also teaching your children to being martyrs and fighting for the sake of Allah. That also includes taking care of your children.
So I practice Sharia wherever I am because Sharia.
Yeah, so the examples that they do not include when they talk about Sharia is killing apostates like me. That's also Sharia. Killing atheists like me. That's also Sharia. Cutting the hands and feet or crucifying people who take a position against Islam. That's also Sharia. Wife beating, as I showed you. That's also Sharia. So everything he says is correct. It is Sharia, but they don't mention these other things that are also Sharia. All right?
Just means pathway to God. So whatever leads me to God.
Yeah, so killing apostates, beating your wife, these are the pathway to God. These are the things following Islamic rules leads you to God.
I do it wherever I am. Even if I'm in prison, I still can practice Sharia in prison, right? Doesn't matter where you are, right?
And do you follow the law?
So this is the key part. This last few seconds is very important because there should have been a third question. The first question is, do you follow Sharia? The second question now is, do you follow UK laws?
The law of London as well, the land there?
Of course, I'm here. Of course, I'm here. The Quran says, fulfill your contracts. And I've made a contract with this country that will abide by the laws when I enter with the passport. So I have to fulfill the contract.
All right. Is he lying there? Does Islam teach him or not to follow the laws of the land that he lives in? Is he lying there or is he being honest? Tell me in the live chat, guys. What do you guys think? Let me see what you guys think. People are saying taqiyya, lying. If it's Dali saying if it's Islamic law only, somebody's saying taqiyya 100%. Somebody's saying, Armin, we love you. Well, thank you. Oh, we got a super chat from Angie. Angie saying maybe he didn't lie, but he is not honest. Okay, so somebody's saying he's correct, not lying. Yeah, he's not lying, but there should have been a third question. I will show you the hadith, okay? Thank you so much, Angie, for the super chat. Okay, so he's not lying. This is not taqiyya. This guy does not misrepresent Islam. This guy does not misrepresent Islam. Islam does teach you to follow the laws of the land that you're living in. That is correct. There should have been a third question. There should have been a third question. I don't know if you asked him, and it wasn't included in this video, but this video is not complete. The third question, it should be like, he said the first one was, I'm supposed to follow Sharia. The second question is, are you supposed to follow the law of the land? Yes, Islam teaches you to follow the laws of whatever ruler you're living under. The third question should have been, what if they contradict? What if the Sharia law and the law that the ruler is asking you to follow there's a contradiction between them? That would have made this video complete. He's not lying. The third part is the most important part. Because then the answer would be no. You're supposed to follow the law of the land up to the point that it doesn't contradict Sharia law. Let me actually bring up a hadith for you guys. This is why I'm saying they're not lying. It's just not the complete picture. So this is Sahih Bukhari. So guys, every time I have to mention this for people who are new here. If it's Sahih Bukhari, that means that it's inseparable from Islam. This is a fundamental part of Islamic teaching, and it cannot be separated from Islam. And all four Sunni Islamic school of thought agree with this. Okay, so this is the Prophet, meaning Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, a Muslim has to listen and obey the order of his ruler, whether he likes it or not, as long as his orders involve not one in disobedience to Allah, as long as his orders involve not one in disobedience to Allah. But if an act of disobedience to Allah is imposed, one should not listen to it or obey it. That's the hadith. So guys, this is why this channel will give you the full picture. Okay? So if the other people were like, no, this is
Sharia law is
this is taqiyya. Like he's lying. He's not. I will show you the part that is missing. And I will come with receipts. I will come with sources. I will not just say like, Islam bad. I say so. These people are barbaric, and just point and yell. And I will give you the evidence, and I will also give you the tools for you to be able to respond to these claims yourself. And this is a problem. Because yes, technically, when they come, a lot of people will be like, yeah, okay, fine, that's good. If Islam teaches you that you're supposed to follow the rule of the land, okay, we could live together then, right? But the main part that you're missing, a lot of people, they have the tools to disarm people. You know, their hadith and their teaching gives them the ability to give you half of the picture. And a lot of people who do not understand Islam completely, they're like, okay, then we could live with that. If your Islam teaches you that you're supposed to follow secular and liberal laws, then we could live side by side. But this is the part that, this is why Islam is so powerful as a meme, because it has the parts that that can be used as a way to disarm the enemy ideologically, if the enemy is not completely understanding of what this religion is about. If your religion was complete, like only had the second part, it was like only had parts that seemed like to be contradicting your values, then it wouldn't be able to infiltrate your land and your ideology so effectively. But because Islam has parts that you could mention as a way for your ideological enemy to feel like you're not a threat, that's what makes Islam even a bigger danger. That's why Islam is such a powerful meme that goes viral. That it has a cover, it has a PR front that sounds so agreeable, and then the poisonous part is like a poison pill with a sugar coating, and when you're taking it, you don't taste the poison because it has a sugar coating. And we open that pill and we show you the poison. The poison is that part. The parts that the contradiction, if there is a contradiction between Sharia and the laws of the land, then the Muslim is not supposed to follow it. And that's the problem, because the contradictions are all the parts that violates the values of modern Western liberal countries. Those are the problems. The contradictions are the problems. Guys, I'm doing this for you, so please make sure you like the stream. I think we're being very effective of showing you how to fight back against this ideological invasion. So please like the stream. Please tell people to come to subscribe to Atheist Republic on YouTube. I have this lady to show you on the next stream. Her videos. This is a Muslim apparently. They're coming in different shapes and forms these days, right? So she's a UK Muslim. I'm going to review some of her videos. And what else? So I was going to review this one today, but I didn't get to it. I have some other videos that was supposed to be for today. Let me show you some. So I have 3 videos from her. I have a video from Piers Morgan talking about Sharia with a UK Muslim. I'm going to be able, you guys probably have seen this, but I want you guys to see my response to it. So this is another video that I'm going to respond to. This is a UK Muslim on Piers Morgan. He talks about Sharia law, and I want to evaluate whether his claims are correct or not. So I will do that in another stream. By the way, if there, I'm my eyes are on Twitter right now and on YouTube and on breaking news, because right now I'm trying to follow to see whether or not the Islamic Republic is going to attack Israel any moment or not. So if that happens, I'm going to shift to that, and then we will come back to covering these Sharia related videos. If you appreciate what I'm doing beyond just liking, please also leave a comment saying that, because that your comments of saying, if you leave comments and telling me that I'm doing a good job here, it gives me energy. Honestly, it does. It gives me motivation, because I need to know if I'm having an effect on some of you guys, and I'm like, if you guys think like what I'm doing, teaching you here is valuable, I need to know that to be able to have motivation to continue doing this. So if you leave a comment like that, it boosts the algorithm, but it also boosts my energy. It boosts both YouTube and also my motivation. So please go ahead and do that as well. And also, yeah, please keep recommending Atheist Republic to your friends, your enemies, and everyone else. Okay, including demons that Jen. If there are any gens in your house, please also tell them to come subscribe to Atheist Republic. Right? Oh wait, let me see. Some comments have started by Alfred. AF is saying, if you want to quote Hadith, you need to elaborate it. It's not. Yeah, it's not also. I don't need to do that. No, AF, because it has been marked. I don't need to look at the chain of narration when it's already been marked as Sahih by your scholars. So all of that work has already been done by your scholars. You want me to come reinvent the wheel from the beginning? So if it's like you need to you're saying I have to go look at the hadith that contradicts the meaning of this or not. No, if there are hadiths that contradict each other, the Islamic scholars have done all of this work that you are telling me to do, and they have decided which one to consider za'if and ignore it because it contradicts other sunnah of Muhammad, and which one of them to consider sahih and authentic, to consider that one the legitimate. What if I go do all of this myself and come up with a different conclusion? That means your native Arabic speaking scholars throughout history, I am claiming that I have done something that they were unable to do. If I do claim that, that means that all of your hadith is useless, because I get to come and outdo your scholars, Islamic scholars. So they're all useless anyways. I either should be able to rely on Islamic scholars, and when they mark something as Sahih, to take them seriously, just like all four Islamic Sunni school of thought take it seriously. Either when they mark it as Sahih, that means this is part of Islam, or the entire system is nonsense because nobody can know what Islam is teaching. So no, I don't need to do that. As long as your scholars mark it as Sahih, then I'm good. Then that means that it's either Islam or Islam is nothing at all. Christopher is saying, I disagree, Armin. I believe a woman in Islam is always someone's property. Well, no, it's because, guys, property means like it's something that you could buy and sell, right? So I know we just want to be able to say things that sounds anti-Islamic. I want to be properly anti-Islamic, right? I'm not just going to say things for the sake of being anti-Islamic. I want to be anti-Islamic and be fair when something is true. And if Islam is not saying something that you might, not everything discussing is something that Islam is saying, right? So Islam's treatment of women is disgusting, and I agree. The way women are treated in Islam is, in many aspects, is the same way that you would treat your slaves, right? But it doesn't have all of the characteristics. It has some of the characteristics of how you would treat your property, your slave, but not all of them. So throughout history, when humans were considered property, one of the characteristics of property is that you could buy and sell them in a market, and you cannot do that with your wives in Islam. So they're not completely, they're almost like property, but not completely like property. Guys, if I'm not fair, then I will be taken, like, we're not going to be as effective, right? If I just go say everything that I can against Islam, then I'm going to be less effective against Islam. So I have to be careful about what I say. So agnostic mind is saying Sharia law is not technically a law, saying a law, Armin. Why Muslims try to push it as law? Religion is personal. Religion is not personal. Religion is public. Religion is political. Religion is personal, public, and political. So it's false. And Sharia law is not all. Sharia is not all law, but it includes law. Sharia includes all aspects of life, what you're supposed to do personally, publicly, and also in governance. So Sharia includes law, includes all of what is supposed to be law, but it also includes other things. So Muslims are not trying to push it as law. It includes law already. And Islam is the most political religion. So Islam is definitely not personal. It's not just personal. Where are you guys getting this information from? Islam is obsessed about the ummah, the Muslim community. How is that personal? You guys understand. Some of you have very, you come and say things that shows how important is the work that I'm doing here on this channel is, because your understanding of Islam is very wrong. And Nikash is saying, third question, if there is a contradiction between the laws. Yes, good job. Did you say this before I say what the third question should have been? If you did that, then good job. So yeah, the third, Nikash, good job. Congratulations. That should have been the third question. If there is a contradiction between the laws, which law will you follow? Fantastic. That should have been the third question. You recognize this. Congratulations. We should have medals here for people. Alfred should have access to medals and hand it over to people who say correct things. Oh yeah, Nikash was saying it just right. We said it together, Nikash. We said it together. Great. All right, guys. Again, I'm gonna go. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I'm seeing 650 people are watching the stream, but most of them are watching us on X. So, guys, people who are watching us on Twitter, please come and subscribe to Atheist Republic on YouTube. Help us grow this channel. And again, promote it everywhere. They're doing a lot of, the Islamic side is doing a lot of promotion. We need to do more promotion on our side. The problem is that they do the promotion for their YouTube channels, like their followers promote their channels so much. That's why the channels grow, because they think that they're going to get reward in the afterlife. But so they have a lot of, they have a lot of motivation to promote the YouTube channels of Islamic channels. I don't have any rewards for you. Like if you go and say like, hey guys, subscribe to Atheist Republic, I don't have, like, there's no afterlife. So I don't know how to, you guys have to show that our, sense of right or wrong is enough for us to get us motivated as they are to promote their Islamic channel. So please go ahead and help this channel grow so that we could get, slightly as big as they are, because their channels are huge. We're so behind. Okay. All right. So thank you guys. And till next stream. Bye.